just go in English. It's fine with all of you, right? It's okay with all of you, right?
It's okay, Sreekumar, thanks.
Okay, that is what I'm comfortable with. അപ്പം ഇതിനകത്ത് ഇന്ന് നമ്മുടെ ഈ സെഷൻസ് ഞാൻ ചെയ്യാൻ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എനിക്ക് എൻ്റെ മക്കളുടെ ആ ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ്സിൽ എന്തൊക്കെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റി, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവരെ എങ്ങനെ ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് വന്നു. അപ്പൊ ഇപ്പം ഓവറോൾ ജിഷയുടെ മക്കൾ ഒഴിച്ച് ബാക്കി എല്ലാവരും ഒന്നുകിൽ പ്രൈമറി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇയർലി പാർട്ട് ഓഫ് സെക്കൻഡറിയിലാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ ഉള്ളത്. What I'm trying to do today is just to give us some insight of how we start from the secondary and then we go to the GCSE educations, and from the GCSE we just go to the A levels or sixth form to understand how the things goes and what I did to help my kids and to be successful on their journey. And then we will go a little bit more about A levels and then preparation for the uni, how we do that, and then how we select all the courses, and then how we can support as a parent. Again, all the information which I am sharing today is my own opinion. So if you have to look at any of the latest and greatest information, you need to visit the relevant school website or university websites or UCAS site or any of the sites which I am going to mention during my talk. So that is just my own opinion. അപ്പൊ ഞാനിത് പറയാൻ കാര്യം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എല്ലാ കുട്ടികളും the capabilities are different. So we cannot say that they are in this way, so we have to push the kids in the same way. So we really need to understand what is their capabilities and what they are capable of, which you as a parent, you are the right person to decide whether this is good for them to choose it in that route or not. And again, there are opinions I read in our, group saying that children knows everything. Let them do what they like to do. Is in the modern world, I fully agree that they know that everything what they wanted to do. But at the same time, as they are developing from childhood to adolescence and moving on to the teen, they won't be able to do a lot of critical thinking by themselves. So as a parent, you have a responsibility to guide them into the right place where they have to be. So that is why it is important, even though they know what they wanted to do it, putting them to the right path is still our own responsibilities without really putting them under stress or, any other sort of mental stress that we as a parent give it to them. So with that, I will share one of the slide decks. I just put it together so that we can guide through. It will get some sort of good information for all of you. So let me quickly share the slides. Browse, find out where is it. Yeah. Great place. Everyone can see the slides, right?
Yeah.
Is it, Joshi, is that okay? You can see the slide?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's, again, I just put the title as Journey to Uni, but if the focus here was mostly to give some sort of ideas of what the medicine path, which is going, a lot of parents and kids may be very much interested to grow into that path. That's one of the best jobs. I would say that nobody can make you redundant, or they can just progress through their career without having so much of downturn issues or any of. So with that, I'll just quickly go through the content. As I mentioned, we just go through the secondary school selections, and by knowing that most of your children's now in the primary levels. So that is good to know that what are the options out there for you to choose as a parent and to go from there. And then we talk a little bit on the grammar school options. That's the path which I chosen for my children, so that I will talk a little bit on that. And then how we help them to progress through GCSE and the sixth form A levels. And during that period, in order to pass through the medical entrance, there's a new version of the medical test has been launched since 2024, I believe. It's called UCAT. And I will touch base a little bit on the UCAT, even though I don't experience that while my elder daughter was going through that admission process. And then UCAS applications, that's where all the university positions that we need to apply into that particular site. And then, again, the Cambridge and Oxford is not the real end of the world university for this. For the medicine, for the people, they are very much interested on research. Oxford and Cambridge would be the right path. But if you look into any medical doctor passing out from any of the university in the UK, in NHS point of view, they all have the same rights, same weightage, and there is no differences where they comes from. And then talk a little bit on the parental supports and some useful websites I would like to share while we, so that you will have these presentations or, the recorded versions available for you to look at it in the later stage. And then we continue to do the Q&A. But I'm also happy to say that if you wanted to stop it after each section, we can just clarify some of the questions rather than waiting till the end of it. That's up to you to decide. So with that, I just move on to the next selections. So it's basically, I want to talk more about the secondary school selections. So when we talk about the secondary school selections, there are multiple options, right? So every schools are really good. And then what you wanted to choose is up to you. And I will give some guidance what, you should be looking at. So when we talk about the secondary school selections, the options are grammar school. That is what I chosen for my children's. And then definitely the state comprehensive schools, which is available, and private school. The private schools cannot be afforded to all of, but some of the people, they do the international transfer. Mostly the company will pay them. So that was the case for me when I moved to in UK. So that's options. But in my opinion, I would say that you can look at in whatever the choice you are going to use for your children, and you can make that decisions what you are going to do. The best way to do that is try to look at the Ofsted rating, which are basically standards for the educations, which widely accepted to go. They audit each schools and they come with the recommendations and everything. So it's basically whatever the options you're going to choose from those three criteria, you can decide, look at the outstanding Ofsted ratings. That will tell you, the schools are good or bad. So that's one of the, things. When you go to any of the school site, you will see this Ofsted record of the schools. You can just open it and just read through, where they are lacking and how good they are and stuff like that. You could continue to understand the selection of the schools you wanted to choose for. Another recommendation is once you make that call and decisions, what would be the best based on the place where you are living and the catchment areas and various kind of things, you decide which one suits for you and your children. And then attend open mornings along with your children. That's where you can put some interest on them and see that, yeah, that's the school they wanted to be in, so that they can prepare themselves and they have a passion to get into there, right? And the next point, I say relocate closer to the school if possible. The reason I said that, okay, Matthew, you have a question before maybe I'll finish this section, and then we will go through. Sure. Yeah. So it's basically relocate closer to school is one of the things. Is when you look at the state comprehensive school, there are a lot of multiple excellent schools out there where, even much better than grammar schools or the private schools. So in order to get admission there is a trick. You have to make sure you are living in the catchment area of that schools. So if you made up your mind that's where you really wanted to be, and then of course try to think about how you can relocate closer to the schools so that you fall into the catchment area of that particular schools, so you will be able to get your secondary school admissions without going through big trouble. And at the end, definitely the networking within the community and talking, like even I would consider that as a networking event, so that, if you have some doubts, you can ask Joshi. He's already our two children passed through the same process and completed the university, and then we continue from there. So that's one of the points related to the secondary school selections, I really wanted to talk about it. I can, the snapshots on the right side is where my kids are studied. You can see the number of people going to a lot of good university. I just only put the snapshots of from 2024, which is advertised in the school website. There are 23 students went to University of Cambridge with the various different subjects. Similarly, about 35 of them was at Oxford University, and there are multiple university they are there in the positions. You could able to see it from their website, how many of them went in what sort of different universities from this school. Yeah, this is all about the secondary school selections. I want to talk about it. Matthew, I know you raised the hand. If you wanted to ask anything, and Stalin, you also wanted to ask some things before we move on to it. Yeah, we can just have a more interactive section rather than flipping up the PowerPoint. Right?
Yeah, if I go first, actually. This is one point you raised before a bit time, Sreekumar. I generally don't ask easy questions. You made a point that this profession or this career, you can't make people redundant. Can you elaborate a bit around that point?
Matthew, sorry, ഇത് അത്ര ക്ലിയർ ആവണില്ല സൗണ്ട്.
Neutral views to my case or any of the kids who are interested in
Matthew, sorry, I don't think it is very clear. ഒന്ന് കുറച്ചുകൂടെ അടുത്തിരുന്ന് സംസാരിക്കാൻ പറ്റുമോ, please?
That's a cool, yeah.
Okay, ipo clear anda?
Yes, it is clear. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll repeat that actually.
Yeah.
So one of the point Sreekumar raised is about we can't make people redundant or while choosing this profession.
Yeah.
Can we just elaborate a bit
okay.
on that point?
Yeah. In my experience,
can I interfere? Matthew, എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു സ്റ്റാൽജിനാണ്, വേറെ ആരും കൂടെ ഹാൻഡ് റേസ് ചെയ്തിരുന്നു. നമ്മുടെ ടൈം കൺസ്ട്രെയിൻ ഉള്ളത് കൊണ്ടേ നമ്മൾക്ക് ക്യാൻ വി കീപ് ദിസ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആൻസർ സെഷൻ ആൻഡ് ദ ലാസ്റ്റ് പാർട്ട് പ്ലീസ്, ബിക്കോസ് അതർവൈസ് ശ്രീകുവിന് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്ന മുഴുവൻ പറഞ്ഞു തീരാൻ പറ്റില്ല, നമ്മൾക്ക് അത് കേൾക്കാൻ പറ്റൂല, അവസരം നഷ്ടപ്പെടും. അപ്പൊ അതുകൊണ്ട് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് മേ ബി വി വിൽ ഡു ഇറ്റ് ആഫ്റ്റർ ദിസ് സെഷൻ. വിൽ ദാറ്റ് ബി ഓക്കെ, മാത്യു? ആൻഡ് I think
that would be better, because I will list out my questions and we can cover up in the lab.
Okay, thank you.
That's great.
Note down your questions, and then we will definitely ask him. And if it is a long session we needed, definitely Sreekumar will give more time. Later also, one-to-one session also possible. So keep the question after the presentation, please. Thank you.
Definitely, yes. Okay, so I move on to the next sessions. So since I chosen for my kids the grammar school exam, so I just want to
share the slides, please. I think I lost that slide.
I was sharing.
Oh, is it still sharing?
I can see. Yeah, it's moved to the next slide.
Yeah, it's a grammar school 11+. That's what you all should be seeing now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Joshi, you are okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically since my children's chosen this route, I just want to give a little insight of what I done for them to get prepared for the grammar school exam. So when you in your catchment area or your county where you are living, so you can search for what are the grammar schools. Around 169 UK grammar schools are available across England, and then you can look at and see what's good for you. And there are two different type of exams followed in different schools. One is called GL exam, and the other one is called SEM, which is Center for Monitoring and Evaluation by Durham University. So some schools follow this SEM, and other ones do the GL. So if you made a plan with your child that the grammar school is the route you are going to do that, depending on the capability of the children, you can start in a very lighter way from year 4 and 5. Because I'm saying this, none of our primary education exams format doesn't allow the people to sit for 2 hours and doing this sort of competitive exam. So in order to prepare them in advance, we need to start a little bit of exam taking, sort of experiences that we need to introduce to them. Even you don't need to be too lengthy exams. It can be a short 10 minutes exam for verbal reasoning or comprehensions, or depending on the subjects that you are interested, so that they will get used to how they do these exams as they progress. Rajesh is joined.
Yeah.
Hi, Rajesh.
Oh, hi.
No worries. We just started. Thanks for joining.
Okay, no problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I would recommend to start early, but you don't need to be in a very aggressive way. So it can be a lighter. Again, that is for preparing for the exams, which, they're never used to be. In India, the cases are different. The kids have an exams, monthly exams and quarterly exams and all these kind of things. But here, they don't expose to this sort of exam. So it is better to start with a very lighter way in the year 4 onwards. And year 5, you just ramp up a little bit more and then continue them to take, getting used to exam taking sort of. So some resources you could use depending on the format of exams the school is following. You can use the several books available in Amazon, or you can even borrow from previous students, and then the practice papers. So the regular short homework is the theme of this. Once the kids are interested on this route, you have a good alignment with them and make them understand why you would prefer these routes. You can do some short homeworks and short exams from home. And some people use the tutors in order to get them more practiced in a timed environment, how they can answer all these questions of verbal reasoning, non-verbal reasoning, comprehension, and all kind of format that comes into this. Again, regular practice definitely build their confidence. That is what I used to do with my children. And then we have a shorter sessions rather than the very lengthy sessions, so that they just get used to it. And try to conduct exams when it comes to the age. Normally, the grammar school exam will be taken at the year 6. So you have to help or to conduct some sort of a mock equivalent exams at home. And also there are a lot of agencies run the mock exams. You can register and do that. That's just a little bit of my knowledge portion of how they all get into the grammar schools. Okay. And then I go into, then they successfully finished everything. And now they're moving into GCSE. I believe the slide is now you are seeing should be GCSE. So again, in order to get Nadeem, I can admit, Okay, for the GCSE, again, for the science subjects, if you wanted to look into the targeted university or target university or medicine, you just came for a grade 8 and 9. Why I say it is important, some universities also look at the GCSE rather than only A-level scores. And that is why it is important to focus on getting some science and math subjects or science subjects in general. If you're looking forward to medicine, you just need to try to get 8 and 9. And again, we wanted to develop the children as a social element. That is very important. We don't want it to have a very academic way solely know about the books. We really need to make sure the kids are engaging with sports or CCF, cadet force training, engaging in the school music or drama or any of the sports, and doing some medicine related voluntary work. It can be, voluntary work supporting in care homes or any sort of things, and also encourage them to join some of these maths and science challenges, which usually happens in regionally as well as in school. And then, you could sign up and encourage them to start doing it. So again, you have to use, because different boards for various schools, they follow different kind of boards, AQA or, different Edexcel or whatever it is. So it's basically you need to understand what board they are following. And one of the things I really wanted to emphasize that, the kids consistently doing the past papers is very important. That way they will really get into the exam mode. And you also need to start marking them using a marking scheme. The reason I just say you have to use a marking scheme, when you do the maths exams or something, even though your answer is wrong, if you follow the steps right from there to how to get the answers, there are marks for those areas, right? So, but if even the final answer is wrong, you can still score some good points from that. So it's very important that the children knows about it. Even recently my son is supporting one of the boy to do the GCSE maths exams. He immediately identified they were not following, the actual steps that need to follow the marking schemes. That will bring up some extra marks. So just for your understanding. Again, practice exams at the home, close to the actual exam environment. This could be very tough as the kids are growing and passing through adolescence and changing all physically, mentally, and all of this. So you need to really support during this difficult period. Yes, once they've completed the GCSE, and of course, all the students have their own interest and their own in certain subjects they would like. This is an opportunity to select which focus studies they wanted to do it. But here we're talking about more onto the medicines. So we talk about taking 3 or 4 A levels as the minimum. 3 A levels as the minimum requirements, but often people take 4 or 5 if you have a bandwidth to do it. But you don't need to stress the children to say you do the 5 A levels and make your life difficult. So it's, for the university purpose, only 3 is good enough. You don't need to have 4. For medicine, chemistry, biology, mostly all universities, they are compulsory. But you need to look at, again, the website of the university what are compulsory, and then it can be the maths or physics. Mostly the medicine, they look for some A stars and AA to get an active good offer. So we have to be really preparing the children for getting to that sort of 2 A stars and A. But some university offer much lesser, 1 A star and AA or even AAA. I don't remember any of the university was actually offered AAA offers to the medicine course, but you can check within the website. Again, the idea is you don't need to do 5 A stars or 4 A stars. You can always drop 1 at the end of the first year or in the middle of the first year of the A level or 6 months. At the point, I will continue that we don't want them to be just academic only. We need to make sure they are engaged and different activities so that they can fluently talk in interviews, and they will become a person they can really deliver the talk as well. So it is very important to engage with other extracurricular activities in the schools and be a team players and continue to develop, right? And some work experience in year 11 and 12 is very important when it comes to the university applications. And shadowing the hospital is, if you know some doctors or if you have some contacts within the hospitals, you can take a 2 weeks shadowing so that the kids will really understand, yes, this is what I really wanted to do it or not. So that's the choice they can make once they really understand the real life experience of what is actually a doctor's job is, right? So it's networking is one of the important portion here. So you could have a Malayali consultant friend or doctors or nurse or anyone. They could tell the hospital HR to arrange some of the 2 weeks, shadowing experience for them to understand what is this all about, right? And there are online options also to support, but I would prefer your kids goes and really experience the real life situations, right? And then once A level is reaching to the beginning of year 13, then you will start doing the UCAT preparations and personal statements and all of this. I mean, again, that personal statement was something in the old way of doing things with writing it a full personal statement. Now it has been changed since 2025 or 2024. It was changed with the 3 different questions with the 4,000 words. And from, move on to the next one. In addition to the A level exam, one of the important things that you need to know, every medical graduates applicants, they need to do the UCAT. This is a replacement for BMAT. BMAT used to be for the Oxford and Cambridge in the past. they have to do the BMAT exams. And there is something called UKCAT for other university. So now everything is called UCAT since 2024, I believe. So, this is again, you need to verify. And then the UCAT registration they can do from May, and the exams windows are from July to September. They can do. Again, this contains the verbal reasoning, decision makings, and quantitative reasonings and situational judgment. And the score for each of the 3 first sections is like from 300 to 900. And then the situational judgment is like a band 1 to 4. So they need to score a very high score in order to get into the best university. Even I would say, even to get any medical course, they have to be at least 2,700 as an average to get scored in order to get into any universities in general. So that is again, the preparation is called Medic Portal. That gives a very, intense preparations, and also you can register for some of the tuitions, but mostly all the information related to this is available, and some books also will help because this is new to me. I'm not familiar with the subject of the UCAT because in the past it used to be BMAT. And personal statement, again, this was replaced with the 4,000 characters asking the questions why you want to study this course and subject. In the past, it used to be a personal statement containing 4,000, 5,000 words, and you make it yourself, whatever you want to do. But now it is very subjective, so you have to answer these questions in the form of a personal statement. Again, the care must be taken. Don't put anything that which is not true. If something you put it in there, for your bad luck, if during the interview, if they ask about some questions related to that and which is not been done properly or they're not familiar with it. In the past, I know there are cases where people put some personal statement with, taken from either ChatGPT or something and just put it in there. But during the interviews, if they pick up and ask some of them, and they can easily make out that you don't know about that, right? So it's important that you customize what they really know, what they really wanted to know, and what they can answer during an interview process, right? And super curriculars, other than the normal curriculum, they definitely need to work on some of the super curriculars. And volunteering, work experience are important for this. So you just need to show that you're really interested on patient cares and things like that, so that way they can select some of the, sort of work experience which matches what they really wanted to get. Again, the personal statement, prepare in the summer times and just, develop from there. And you as a parent to help them and just to go through with them and try to, make it really good personal statement which stand out to show that you're really genuinely interested on doing the medical studies. And key areas of the medicine is like medicine as a career, whether they would love to do it, and some other NHS issues, medical ethics and all. They could just start readings and try to understand a bit more about it if there is a discussions during the interview comes up. And UCAS application, as some of you already, your kids went through this process, but again, UCAS is a place where every university positions will be applied. So this normally start applying from the start of the second year of A levels. And choice, you need to select 4 medical schools plus 1 alternative course. That means A100 is normally the medical course. But in addition to the medical course, you need to choose 1 other course. It could be biomedical, it could be something else, or language, or whatever it is you wanted to say. So you have to choose accordingly. Apply to all. You cannot apply both Oxford and Cambridge, so you can only choose either Oxford or Cambridge. And application package should contain GCSE grades. I talked about the importance of scoring a good score for the science subjects of GCSE, and you will be putting all this information on the GCSE there. A-level predicted grades, that what the school is going to give it to you. Recommendation letter from teachers, which you don't see it. It's the request will go from UCAS directly to the school teachers. They will do themselves. You don't need to know about it. But as during a parent evenings and stuff like that, you will understand a little bit more about it. You can ask how the child is doing and things like that. Of course, they will make the recommendations and letter from their side. And the best UCAT score I talked about, 2,900 plus, is a good offer. You may get into Oxbridge, but anything below 2,700, you will reduce the chances of getting into the medical schools, right? So we just need to really focus on the UCAT score. And interviews are two types of interviews. In the traditional styles, which is in Cambridge and Oxford, is most like a traditional. But other medical schools are called MMI, or it's a multiple mini interviews. So how it works is it contains 10 different stations. They set up as a circuit, and then you go into each stations. Some of them will be a role play stations, some of like a professional judgment stations, and some of them will be like a giving instruction stations, and some calculation stations, and it's just like a circuit of 10 or 11 5-6 minutes of MMI. That means every stations they will give you a case of scenarios. You read it, and then you provide the solutions based on each of the station that you go and pass through. So about 6 minutes plus is on each station. Similarly, there will be around 10 or 11. I don't remember how it is, but it was the way. Again, interview, you just need to practice. So again, I put the mock interviews on green. That's one of the knowledge sharing. I really wanted to do it in order to prepare the children. They cannot just go and perform in an interview without practicing. So you have to use some of your local networking from the people passed through these interviews in the past. They will help. I can tell you that even today, my daughter helps for some of the kids. They going through the interviews, their parents ask, can you please support us with 60 minutes or 40 minutes mock interviews of what? So they will do it. So that is the same, you can do it. And also there are some professional trainings available to choose it as well. And the Medic Portal is again one of the real good resources you could continue to see. But if you are successful at the end, you will start getting offers Jan through March generally, and sometimes it goes all the way to up April. So the normal offer for the Oxbridge is you need to have a condition of 2 A stars and A's. Some of the universities really chemistry as a compulsory subject, and chemistry biology normally get as a compulsory, and then the third one can be maths or physics or anything else. So certain university, even some of the offers went for even 3 A stars, but at least to try to make sure 1 A star is already there if in order to get into the medical place. And as I said, Oxford and Cambridge is not everything. It is just we need to look at what other options out in there. You can just see like a lot of other colleges with the medical degrees. They are like a Birmingham or Bristol, Manchester, UCL. I believe Rajivan's daughter is studying in UCL, and so it's basically these are like you can just go and look at what are the different ratings, and of course we aim high, but even though you ended up any of these, it's absolutely fine, because as I said, when it comes to NHS point of view, where you're coming from, which university you finish, that doesn't matter. It just as a doctor, you're a doctor, right? And as you all know, that most of the consultant doctors is from India in NHS, right? And the final thought for the parents, as I really wanted to say that the two feedback which Rajesh and Ashik put was, it's very important, and we don't want, as I mentioned, each kid is different capabilities, so we don't need to push them hard. So it's all about them. It's not like what you as a parent they wanted to do. But again, from early days, training them or putting the seed on to them and say, yes, this is what you want to do. That's all things you could try to do it right from the beginning and support them through the journey and believe in their ability and let them lead what they really want to do it. Otherwise, it can be, not going to be successful because the person who wanted to be there need to be more interested than you. So that's why it is important that leave it to them to do it. Encourage structured revision plans. And as I mentioned that, they don't be getting fully developed in terms of their critical thinking and looking at. So that is where the parent supports you as a person. You have a plenty of life experience and the professional experience that you can always share. And, one of them, I always tell my children that, you need to be 10 or 15% better than the people from or born and from UK itself. It's just because, they can naturally speak, but it is important that you just guide them to, in the right way in order to be successful. Help to arrange shadowing opportunities with doctors. As a children, they won't be able to find some, right? You as a parent, you can always talk to your friend circles and some of your other, Malayali Association team or whatever it is, you would easily find some of the shadowing opportunities. Tutoring is on an A levels. I see often some of the people struggle a little bit to do it all by themselves. So you can also think about doing a sort of a tutoring support for them in order to get A stars and A's as a score. So guide them without pressures. There is no point of shouting at it and you're getting upset with them. So it's basically we need to allow them to sail through as they go through various, difficulties as a teenage years, right? They have they desire increased independences and, space and privileges. So that is why it is important that you don't really nag at them and just keep on telling, do this, do that. They are probably not going to listen to you because that is what, when they become teen, of course, they try to want to live in their world and, we have to respect that portion of it, but they will know that they wanted to be successful. They know where they wanted to be. So you just support. So the final point is avoid comparing with others. So that's sometimes we have a habit, but we don't need to. So we just allow them to do what they need to do. And some useful websites, as I talked through, where it will help to guide through and helping the studies, helping the preparations. These are some of the useful websites you would be, use it for supporting through this journey. So in terms of PowerPoint presentations, this is my last slide. I don't have anything more. So from this point, we can dedicate next 12 minutes I will stop sharing the slide and then we just go from the Q&A side of it,
Excellent. Thank you, Srigu. For the timing,
you are on mute, Joshi.
Thank you. Thank you, Srigu. It's excellent. For the timing purpose, we have only 1 minute left for this session on Teams. So I think it's better we will do the question answers.
I will.
Yeah, Matthew was asking some question about the redundancy you mentioned. Okay. Matthew, are you still there?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Okay.
first and foremost, Sreekumar, great session.
Okay.
My wife, my 3 of the kids, of course, the younger one is just 8 months old, but everyone was listening as best they could.
Okay, so that's good.
Thanks for the session. You want to say thanks?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, my wife just said thanks as well. My question was again, I generally don't ask easy questions, so sorry for that, Rajesh. Sorry, Sreekumar. The first, in the onset of the call, you mentioned, Sreekumar, that in this profession we can't make any more redundant. The reason I'm asking this question is I want to give a neutral view to my kids about why they are choosing the profession, because before they choose the profession itself, they should be knowing, or I should give an idea or the views that why they are choosing that profession. So can I just reiterate that question again?
Okay.
Yeah, go on, Sreekumar.
Yeah, any more to add before I start?
Yeah.
Anything else to add? Okay. Yeah, so it's my comment on the redundant. So as you know that I come from the oil field experience of the last 29 years with the American company called Schlumberger. So within that company, at least I have been part of doing 5 or 6 redundancy as a part of the business downturns or oil price crashes, so that then there are a lot of corresponding engineering industries or manufacturing industries are fully affected with that, right? So my first child was very much interested on doing economics and the business studies. So then I said, yeah, this is, you can experience your own views and visions and try to find out what suits for yourself rather than, I take that comment as based on my own experience, not with the educating children, because of redundancy threat, you take this job or not. This was just what is my real life experience of at least guiding through 5 or 6 redundancy throughout the process. That is what I mentioned. It was like internally out, but none of this word has been used to any of the children because that you put them down to their interest. So I have 0 discussions related to that subject to them. It's just I was sharing my own experience.
It helps, Sreekumar. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Okay. That is any other questions from the team?
Hi, Sreekumar. That's really a great session because the almost 90% of things I don't know. I'm just learning from this. Even because most of the things I'm knowing after it's happening because my child went to the reception. Then only I go to know that there is something reception because I applied to school. So I'm really good to know this kind of things. I'm really glad that you explained because this kind of knowledge we don't get it like as quickly. Thank you very much for that. My question, since my children are very young, so my question is towards that area. Though I have questions on later stages, but I would stick with the primary stage and the initial. You said about outstanding rating, private schools, grammar schools. My child goes to the school, and because in India we know that they are following some textbook. We know that what they will be learning today, and we can even support them before or after. But in this UK system, especially for state schools, only I get to know the things after 6 months when we have a review with the teacher, or at the end of the year when they collect all the workbooks what they have done last 1 year. So are there any advantage which we send our child to any private schools as comparing with a state school? And how do I get to know that what they will be following in this every year when they went to school? That will be same for even like primary, secondary, what they will be learning. How can I support them? What stages in the learning curve they will be struggling? Especially if I'm not knowing, I cannot support them. So will the private school makes help here, or sorry, I made
okay.
it.
I will take the questions into the different formats, right? First of all, during the early stages, how we know what they are doing. So regardless of which schools they go, they all have a sort of a weekly weekly homework. And I fully agree with you that we don't have a textbooks or something where you could do it. But some of the information, it is only come through when you really understand what the child is coming back with their books, right? So I used to look through the books to just understand whether what they're learning on maths, what they're learning on science, what is in there. So it's basically when they bring back their books, we just look at it and just try to understand, and also looking at some of the homework. Then the private school versus the comprehensive schools of the public school. The private school, you get a lot of one-on-one support. Normally in the private schools, you will have maximum in a class capacity of 15 students as opposed to 30 or 40 in, public government schools. So that means your child will get a lot of one-on-one attentions, and they will make sure, they grow into the right directions. But again, it can be very expensive. Like in every term, some of the schools, as I know, they charge around £3,000 per term for even a reception child, right? I don't know. That is what I mentioned during my initial start. If your company or you are transferring as an intercompany transfer, if they are covering the cost, it's absolutely fine. Otherwise, it gets more and more expensive. And also, you are not putting your child into exposed in a difficult situations. Even though I have the option to be on private schools, and I chosen the grammar school later stages to them to develop in a different. So it's basically that is the best way of. I would say private school comes with its own advantage, but the disadvantage is can be very expensive, and the kids will be more interacting with unnecessary rich poor people from the community rather than they growing as a normal human being. So there is a disadvantages and the disadvantages to do. And I fully agree on the first portion of the primary schools. It's a little bit of a black hole, what they are studying and stuff like that. I experienced exactly the same what you said, but some attempt which I made, it was looking through the books, looking through the homework, and even when we have this parents' evening, they allow us to take the book home. That is where I just go and flick through and try to find out, okay, what exactly they were doing it, right? Even the homework is like some schools, a free choice. It doesn't really help you to understand what you can support and help. So with again, the answer to it, private schools come with its own advantage. But again, developing the child as a good human beings, it is not my recommendations, right?
That's very,
Yeah, private
very
school.
excellent answer. Thank you very much.
Yes, Sreekumar, and private school is scholarship option, and their brother, brother in the Kutti, actually, he has got admission both grammar school as well as private schools, and private school gave them scholarship, full scholarship. So for each year it will be reviewed. I think there are some criterions are there.
Yeah.
So that's one option which you can explore as well. You can, if your kid is academically good, there's an option of getting some scholarship as well.
Yeah. I forget to mention about that option. Yes, it is an option to do that way.
Yeah, he got admission in a couple of grammar school and also Hamilton school here, and they gave him scholarship, so he went for the private school because of that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question, Sreekumar, please?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sreekumar. It was really good. I really did a little bit of rewinding about offset rating, catchment area. I really got that thing, especially when we are buying home. We have to look for relocating to a better school than catchment area, then 11 plus exam, GCSE, grade 8 or 9. It's all very refreshing for me. And also the flexible approaches as I think Shaljin was asking in Kerala, and compared to the standardized testing here, SATs or GCSEs and all that, you explained it really well. I have a question related to those Keralite families coming here. Like two questions. One is about underfunding here, resources. In a school, like we always hear, like government is saying that our educational system, no funding for educational system, whether it is university or primary school. What is your understanding about that? What is your view on underfunding and resources constraints in the school? And the second point is, when we come from Kerala school style, whether it is a Malayali school from Middle East or a Malayali school from India, we have some cultural representations like Onam, Christmas and all that, which which we are missing the Kerala style cultural representation. Onam, Vishu, Perunal, and Perivadigalakka. So how do you prepare our children to know about what is Ramayana, what is Mahabharatam, what is our Onam and all that. What is your view on cultural representations limitation within UK, please?
Okay, so I'll start with I was head of Malayali Association, president for one of the county before. So the kids engaging with the rest of the community is the one of the best way of we will celebrate Vishu, we celebrate all the what you call the the Onam and as well as many other cultural things, and they also create some activities or dramas or skits and stuff like that. So during that process they will really learn. So staying away from our community is really going to make that difference. If the kids are only going to interact with British born or British origin people, they won't really know about what is Onam and what is the Ramayanam or what is the Quran. I mean, all these kind of cultural things, which is a part of our own upbringings, where the kids really need to learn about their religious belief. So it is one of the option is to just engaging with the local Malayali community. I totally encourage everyone to do it. That is why I still take a break and just go and attend these type of functions still from Norway. So that's a one way to get it. That is the only way. And regarding the funding, I don't know too much about it, but my understanding is with the lack of funding, there is a lot of extracurricular items or the library but the basic educations with the teachers and availability, I think still they need to maintain. But when it comes to having a good turf or pitch or hockey, turf or anything, so obviously all of these type of things will be heavily impacted when it comes to extracurricular activities due to the lack of funding. But general teaching things, I would say that that will carry on, right? That is my understanding, but maybe somebody else from the group can add anything more to it, right?
Thank you. Great. Thank you, Srigu. Any more questions, please?
There is a simple one, probably not only me, others maybe also facing.
Yeah.
So because going forward, this for the kids, it may be going to be a bit more tough because the continuous practice, mock test, so much of learning.
Yeah.
So how you also mentioned about you are making them confident and giving small sessions for them to practice. How do you make the kids to sit for that? Because my children are so young. I'm really struggling for them to sit at least 10-15 minutes because nowadays they got so much of distraction. And so how there's maybe a more parenting question, not about the education question, about that, because I think everybody had gone through the same. So it's
a really valid question. So it's not in this modern world with a lot of people surfing with the mobiles and stuff like that, it's very difficult to get into that, right? So I would say that this is where we just need to have an yearly discussions, and you don't ask them to sit prolonged times. We just need to start with a very, very short. It could be starting with the 2 questions, right, on a maths or verbal reasoning. So we just need to build up that culture. That's what I mentioned. You may need to start with as early as year 4 if you're feeling it as a difficulty they don't sit for 15 minutes stable to look into something. So that's why we probably need to start in a very, very lighter way and using that tutoring. When it is become an external person supporting them, they will definitely pay attention, right? So this is what I noticed, because as a parent, you just go and push and it's not necessary they will listen to you. But putting into the tutoring, they will pay that 1 hour of full attention, and then they will start building that capabilities. Once they are in the same route, then you introduce 5 questions or 6 questions or in a week or in a shorter way of homework to improve that situation. So the multiple options, one is definitely using an external source to support you. So that is what I would say. If you're finding it an extremely difficult, you don't need to go with a stick and beat them or shouting them. It's not going to work. So we have to really careful about it, right? So that is one option, I would say. Start early with a tutor help. Once they in that line, then they will immediately pick up. I don't know. Some of you heard about Kumon courses.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this is another. But it need to be that Kumon instructor need to be really good, and they need to be really explaining rather than just handing over a bunch of work, So these are the, my sort of supports, I would say. Try to, if there is no tractions, you are able to do it at all. Just start with the tutors, and once they get into that mode, you will also able to support in the future as it progresses, right?
So yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, all comes with some money.
I think you need to keep this tutoring and everything as a last option if they are
Yeah.
really not needed, because most of the kids does not need it, because if they are attentive in the class, that should be enough.
Exactly.
So yeah.
I fully agree. So the tutoring is again the last options if you are absolutely not finding a way to guide through.
It's putting too much pressure on them, right? Going another classes and everything. Right?
Exactly. That is absolutely right. That's why I fully agree with, we don't want to stress them. Just need to be a little bit lighter way to take it and make them interested. This is my path and this is what I wanted, right? Once they find out that things, and then it becomes so easy to guide through. Yeah, it's a bit of beginning issues that everyone sailed through, and later they will find their foot where they wanted to, right?
Yeah.
That's very. Thank you very much.
Any other?
Any more questions?
I'm in Norway. I'm free. So
yeah. Same with me. I live alone, so I have no time.
Yeah, I mean, you guys seen that long messages from Ashik, which is really, very important. That we cannot just mental stress kids by pushing so hard. We need to, as I said, we just need to act as a guide. We need to support them as they progress through this kids to adolescent and teen, and just as they move, because they will going to change. They will even cut with you, and they don't even talk to you quite often, as you see all these progressions as they're progressing through various ages, right? Which is very normal. It's not something we can think that, this is not the way in Kerala, but we don't need to compare that here.
Yeah, these days kids are very, smart as well. They have all this Google and everything, so they are up to date on many things, right? So you might not need to even tell them that they will teach you at times.
No, that's true. Any other question? Cheese, I think you want to share something for your child that you're already doing medicine.
അല്ല അതൊന്നും ഷെയർ ചെയ്യണമെന്നില്ല. പിന്നെ എനിക്ക് അറിയുന്ന കാര്യം തന്നെ ഇതൊക്കെ ട്രൈ ചെയ്തതാണ്. ഗ്രാമർ സ്കൂളായിരുന്നു മോളും ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നത്.
മോള് വേറെ കൺട്രിയിലല്ലേ ഇപ്പൊ പഠിക്കുന്നത്? അതിന്റെ ഒന്ന് എനിക്ക് ഐ ഡോണ്ട് നോ അബൌട്ട് ദാറ്റ്. അപ്പൊ അതൊന്ന്
അവിടെ നമുക്ക് ആരും ഏജൻസി ഒന്നും വേണ്ട, ഡയറക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്താൽ കിട്ടുന്ന കാര്യമേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഇവിടുത്തെ യുകാറ്റ് സ്കോർ വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് അവിടെ എടുക്കുന്നത്.
അവിടെയൊക്കെ പഠിക്കുന്നതിന് നമ്മൾക്ക് സ്കോളർഷിപ്പ് കിട്ടുമോ, അതല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഫണ്ടിങ്ങിനൊക്കെ ബാങ്ക് ലോണൊക്കെ കിട്ടുമോ ജിഷ?
ഇല്ല, അവിടെ ഒന്നും കിട്ടില്ല. അത് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ഡിവിഷൻ ആണ് പഠിക്കുന്നത്. അവിടുത്തെ ലാംഗ്വേജ് അറിയണമെങ്കിൽ ഫ്രീ കോഴ്സാണ്. പക്ഷെ നമുക്കറിയാത്ത കാരണം ഫണ്ടിങ് ഒന്നും കിട്ടില്ല. മെഡിസിന് ഫണ്ടിങ് കിട്ടില്ല. PhD അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾക്ക് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ ഫണ്ടിങ്.
അപ്പൊ ഈ മന്ത്ലി ഫീസ് നമ്മുടെ ഇവിടെ 9,000 യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 10,000 യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി ഫീസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന പോലെ അവിടെ എത്ര ഈക്വലന്റ് യു ഹാവ് ടു പേ?
അവിടെ 13,000 പൗണ്ട്.
ആൻഡ് അതർ
കോസ്റ്റ് എല്ലാം കൂടി ഒരു 20,000.
മെയിൻ്റനൻസ് ഫീസ് ആൻഡ് ഓൾ ഈസ് need to consider?
Hostel, everything together, it will be comes around 20,000.
Okay. So that also they don't get any assistance, right?
No.
Okay. One thing I forget to add, when you're a UK PR and all the things you have, they will have I think the university fee for the nationals and the PR holders is around £10,000, and also the kids are eligible for the maintenance loans. Depending on the place where they live, the maintenance loan in London is slightly upper than other places. So this is something you may need to in the future.
I think international is almost 35,000 now.
Yeah.
So
ഇപ്പൊ ആർമിയിൽ പോകാൻ താല്പര്യം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ സ്കോളർഷിപ്പിന് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്താൽ കിട്ടും. ഞങ്ങൾ ട്രൈ ചെയ്തായിരുന്നു, പക്ഷെ മോള് പുറത്തു പോകുന്ന കാരണം പിന്നെ അവിടെ എത്തില്ല. ഇവിടെ യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റിയിൽ പഠിക്കുവാണെങ്കിൽ ആർമി സ്കോളർഷിപ്പിന് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യാം.
ജിഷ, ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. അവിടെ സോറി, ഇപ്പൊ പുറത്ത് നമ്മളിപ്പോ യൂറോപ്പിലെ ബാക്കി പാർട്ടിലൊക്കെ പോയി പഠിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാല് ഇവിടെ വന്നാൽ ഈ പ്ലാബ് ഇന്ത്യയിൽ നിന്ന് വരുമ്പോ പ്ലാബ് എഴുതുന്ന മാതിരി എന്തെങ്കിലും ടോപ്പ് അപ്പ് ഒക്കെ എഴുതണോ, അതോ സ്ട്രേറ്റ് യു ക്യാൻ ഗെറ്റ് ഇൻ ടു ദ ജോബ്?
ഇല്ല, പ്ലാബ് ഇവിടെ ഉള്ളവർക്കും ഇപ്പോ ആ എക്സാം എഴുതണം. അതേ എക്സാം മാത്രമേ പോളണ്ടിൽ പഠിക്കുന്ന കുട്ടികൾക്ക് എഴുതേണ്ടതുള്ളൂ. ബാക്കി റൊമേനിയ, ബൾഗേറിയ ഒക്കെ ആണെങ്കിൽ വേറൊരു എക്സാം ആണെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. നാട്ടിൽ നിന്ന് വന്നിട്ട് എഴുതുന്ന പോലെയുള്ള എക്സാം എഴുതണം.
It is called PLAB.
മറ്റേ അല്ലാതെ പിന്നെ പോളണ്ടിലുള്ളവർക്ക് ഇവിടെ ഫൗണ്ടേഷൻ ഇയർ 1 സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാം. പിന്നെ മറ്റുള്ളവർക്ക് ഇവിടെ ഫൗണ്ടേഷൻ 2 മുതൽ മാത്രം.
Cool. Can I stop recording now? Yeah.
Yes, I don't know if anyone else have any more questions.
Just one last question. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ശ്രീകുമാർ, നിങ്ങളെ രണ്ട് മക്കളും മെഡിസിൻ ആയിരുന്നോ?
അല്ല, 3 പേര്. I have 3 kids.
Okay, sorry.
So the first one is done the medicine from Cambridge. The second one is very much interested on the nature and everything. So she done a conservation biology from Plymouth University. Okay. A third one is doing the electrical and electronics from Imperial College, London, right?
Engineering.
Yeah, engineering. Okay. So that's what, as I said, it's all 3 in a different field. That is what I said. As a parent, we never pushed anyone to do what specifically we wanted to do. They all chosen their area of what they wanted to do.
Okay.
I also want to mention that my first child was very much interested on economics and the business studies, and her initial intention during GCSE was he wanted to do it in LSE, but she started with the 5 A levels, and then she slowly done some work experiences and stuff like that for the medical field. Then she dropped both economics and the business studies and only focused on the 3 medical subjects.
Okay. Actually, my son is in year 10, so next year is on GCSE. Again, I mean, we're not pushing for any particular options. It's just that we are open for anything.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he has dropped medicine for some reason.
No, that's fine.
It's up to him. I mean, again, these kids will change when they get to year 12 or 13. Or it's not 13, basically year 11 and 12. Because they get to know more about what to do, what not to do. So yeah, I mean, it's like we are in a kind of a critical situation wherein what to decide, what not to decide. Again, being from Kerala, we know is 2 things: medicine, engineering. And I've been telling, forget about those. There are n number of options.
Yeah.
Again, it's all down to them what they want. As you just said, I mean, we are here to just support them.
Yeah. No, that's. I mean, again, you just need to respect their interest but to educate them. That's why the job shadowing, getting a work experience, and all these things will change their, mindset, and they will interested to do whatever the field they would like to do. So that is one of the things you all can try to get some sort of the job shadowing.
എന്റെ കുട്ടികൾ ഇപ്പോ IB-ലാണ്, ഇപ്പോ റോമില് IB-ലാണ് ഇപ്പോ പ്രൈവറ്റ് സ്കൂൾ. They keep on changing, as I said in this message. It's like every 2 years. They started in Mumbai, then went to Delhi, then like KL, Malaysia, and then Bihar for 1 year. So you can see that. Then 2 years in London, and then now it's on 4 years in Rome. So it's like they literally gone to all the systems, right?
It's a difficult for the internet. I mean, I talked a little bit on the secondary school selection of the international transfers. People going through multiple different American system, British system, Indian system, CBSE, all that thing. My kids also studied a little bit along when I was moving around. So it's just with this new modern world, they will adapt very quickly. It's not
exactly, because of all these resources available. Like it's unlike us. Like when I was trying for your studies here, we didn't have no internet, so I had to go to the British High Commission every day in Mumbai to go through the courses and everything, understand this thing.
So she knows that we have an electrical book from B.L. Tereja. We only have 2 or 3 copies in entire engineering college students. So we just we still need to grab from others to look at some subjects. That it's changed.
I have another important things to share. I was attending a artificial intelligence for cybersecurity training from someone from India today. There is actually for cybersecurity professionals group. They conducted a free training. I was attending it, and they said like IIT joint exam, the entrance exam for IIT just finished, and the result came recently. And they did all those problems into ChatGPT, and the ChatGPT could solve everything in 1 minute. So it's actually, when we were talking about AI and its capabilities, it was really a good information for me today, because we know that all these sort of artificial intelligence tools are helping us a lot for searching and finding out things. So that is what I came to know just 1 hour before.
I think programmers also gradually getting replaced. Actually, many places they can do coding. They need only minor, help from the human being.
ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ശ്രീകുമാർ, ഈ UCL എങ്ങനെയാണ് പിന്നെ സെലക്ഷൻ പ്രോസസ് എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗിന് exam ഉണ്ടോ അതിന്?
Imperial or UCL you're talking about?
UCL, right? Your son is
no, my child it is in Imperial College.
Imperial, okay.
So it's the same. In Imperial is now rated as the second best university in the world, right? So now they have to write an exam. I believe the new exam is called EASE. Before they have a specific exam for the engineering students. And then there is an interview. They need to pass through that interview. Now the in-person interview has been replaced with. I was looking at. I remember that I put something on. Let me look. Yeah, there is an entrance exam for engineering as well.
Engineering and science admission test.
It is called ESAT. ESAT. ESAT is the new equivalent to UCAT for medicine, right? Yeah, so they need to pass through that things. Then only, it's the same.
See how my ChatGPT works? Very cute.
It's the same. So it's called ESAT, Engineering and Science Admission Test. They have to pass through that exams and then do the training. I was just looking at ESAT and they have to do the same.
Post graduation is much more easier. I think when I tried for in Bristol University, quite easy, and I didn't have to do any interview. Just application only.
No, now it is a lot of places replaced with online. That is even they can be better at it.
Just one question, Sreekumar. This kid engineering electrical. The A levels, the chemistry, although it was just maths and physics.
No, he did the chemistry. He did the 4 A levels. It is chemistry, maths, and physics, and one more.
For the maths,
Yeah, for the maths.
Okay. Kind of back home, I mean, engineering, physics, chemistry is mandatory. But it's mixed opinion. Like chemistry is kind of optional. Is that right?
It depends on the uni, so you need to look at it. Normally, people can, the offer goes like depending on the 3As or 3A stars.
Okay.
So, there are in Imperial, there is a lot of aeronautical engineering and various kind of things. Physics is a mandatory, I believe, and physics and maths, and then the third can be another science subject.
Okay. So out of this Oxbridge universities, I mean, did you try for any other universities, like in terms of engineering? I mean, your third son?
No, he was like, he just tried only the Cambridge Imperial and then Bath University and
Bath. Okay.
And then Bath is a nice engineering.
Is it University of Bath or Bath Spa?
Yeah, University of Bath.
Okay.
And then Southampton University. You got offer from all of them.
Okay.
I think Bristol is also good, where I studied.
Southampton.
And Warwick is also another one.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
But again, all depends on the course, right? I mean, certain subjects are good.
Yeah,
right?
You can look at the ratings and, the research programs, and Imperial is known to be very much into the research programs. Even I was surprised, even the second year project they are doing nowadays is we don't even done something similar on our final year. So it was very much of very active, lot of projects and codings, control systems and stuff like that. The real active work, which is really good. I mean,
so is it 3 years or 4 years engineering?
You're doing an M.Eng, it will be 4 years.
So that's masters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that control system thing I remember when I was doing my. So in mechanical, we have got only half paper of control system, and then in my post graduation, I did the third paper, 3 papers, 4th paper, which it was like quite advanced thing.
I can. Sorry, Nadine told you a question. I have an answer from from my experience. ഇവിടെ ഡിഗ്രി എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ആണെങ്കിലും മെഡിസിൻ ആണെങ്കിലും ഒക്കെ ഡിഗ്രി ആണെങ്കിൽ 3 വർഷം, മാസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ ഫുൾ ടൈം ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ അനദർ 1 ഇയർ, ഓർ പാർട്ട് ടൈം ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ മേ ബി 2 ഇയേഴ്സ്. പക്ഷെ ഇവിടെ വേറൊരു കോഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട്, ഇന്റഗ്രേറ്റഡ് മാസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട്. ആ ഇന്റഗ്രേറ്റഡ് മാസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ വിത്തിൻ ഫസ്റ്റ് 4 ഇയേഴ്സ് യു വിൽ ഗെറ്റ് മാസ്റ്റേഴ്സ്. And what is the advantages if you are looking for student loan? Student loan is only permitted for a degree, not for masters. So if you are taking masters separately, like student loan for degree, completed degree, then after 1 or 2 years you are doing masters, you have to pay. You won't get student loan. But only for integrated masters, you will be eligible for getting the 4 years student loan.
Yeah, I think classes we share, actually, we used to sit together, M.Eng and MSc will sit together in the same class, but there are certain things like dissertation which is totally different, for MSc, those kind of things. Yeah,
one other thing on engineering I just forget, the people wanted to go in the route of an apprenticeship. There is a way that they can get paid 25,000 per year, and they do some jobs in some very good nice companies, and then you can continue to study as a part-time, and then you will be paid all university fees. Everything will be taken care by them. So that is one of the path. I didn't talk about it, but I remember one of my friends' son was doing similar. That's another options. That way, if you really want some, the people get a good hands-on experience at the same time. At the end of the degree, you will do the apprenticeship as well as you study. So at the end of your university, they will absorb you as an employee. So that's another, if the people pursuing the engineering, that's the second options. There are a lot of nice companies offering this, by the way.
Yeah, I think the similar scheme was there called TCS Associate. I don't know whether now they've changed the name to something else.
Yeah.
Really, it's just like an industry partnership program where you do some project in 2 years with this one. Along with that, you'll get some research or some degree as well.
Yeah. So this is a proper degree in mechanical engineering or whatever, you will get it. But at the end, they will be absorbed into those companies.
Okay. It is a different one. I think what I'm talking about is post degree. I mean, once you finish
No,
your
this is like a full-time course.
Yeah. So the post degree, there is one option called previously it was called TCS Associate, where you get this 2 years of kind of salary, and then you get an opportunity to do some kind of degree as well. So there will be a supervisor at the industry as well as from the university as well.
Okay.
But that's
that's another option to think about. It is also possible to do that way. They get good work experience and get the jobs at the end of the curriculum.
Yeah. So actually, there is a site called jobs.ac.uk. That is like mostly. I'm not talking about the like pre-undergraduate studies. Most of the postgraduate, studentship, scholarships, and everything is listed in that site. These kind of academic jobs as well, like research studentship, research associate, those kind of jobs, and everything is listed in that one, jobs.ac.uk. So that's a good site.
Okay. Any one last questions before we conclude, or you guys want to keep on talking? I'm fine. Sit here and talk.
Matthew, you want to conclude or you want me to conclude? Matthew, let me conclude. Sreekumar,
sorry, Matthew's not here. He just went to buy some food. I'm here only.
Don't worry. It's all right. Thank you. Sreeku, it was really an excellent session. I think it was very useful, very informative, and the way you presented it was also very, very useful. So I'm sure, we will be in touch. We are all in the same group. So, if at all any one of you get any more doubt or any more questions to clear from Sreekumar is always available in our alumni group, and I can also, we can get the number and call. It's a really fantastic session, and thank you everyone for joining, and thank you, Sreekumar, again.
Nadeem wanted to say something.
Yeah, just one last thing. In future, if time permits, a similar one on engineering stream would be really, really beneficial.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. And also, I just want to say that I talked to my daughter today. I said, maybe I pull you into the call if somebody wanted to talk. But, she's also available to ask. I can share the numbers, and if anyone interested to talk or ask some questions which I'm not familiar with it. Yeah, thank you, Joshi, for inviting Matthew and the Alumni Associations. So we will meet on the next occasion, I believe. They will make some good functions or something. Then we can. Good.